So just want to shout out you guys. We are here at the Downtown Event Center. This is called The Deck. It's been pretty cool.
It's a beautiful space. We're so grateful that we're down here at the deck. The weather's cold, we're inside nice and warm. In the summertime, we'd like to open those doors and feel the downtown presence. Yeah. We're only a couple blocks from the river, and when you get in here, it feels like it's amazing.
All right. Okay, so welcome to team meeting, guys. We're excited. So this is our annual wrap-up of the 2019 year. So we're just going to kind of talk about what happened and went through the year, and let's kind of get an idea of what went on. And we're excited.
Yeah!
And we're excited. So let's just talk about, you guys, what we're going to really go over is let's understand what happened this past year in 2019. Every month, of course, we're going to talk about what happened the last month, but we get a roundup for the end of the year. So how was 2019?
Hey, what do we call this segment?
Just the stats?
Jack.
Just the stats, Jack.
Just the stats. Stats, Jack. Okay, so you guys, how did 2019 feel to you?
Busy.
Busy. Like, what do you mean busy?
Like
how did it feel
fire.
busy? What?
Just busy, like on fire.
Like on fire busy. Like we were running. Did anybody feel not busy? No. Like it was nuts. Did you guys realize that we helped 420 people last year, which was awesome. So who knows? Yeah, thank you. There should be more clapping. I'm a high I. I like the clapping. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. So in this, you guys, what's the goal for 2020?
750.
750. So if we were busy last year, we're getting nuts this year, which is super exciting. We've got great goals, and that really is based off of you guys, so that's awesome. Let's talk about the market. Chad Murdock. Let's talk about the numbers.
Yeah.
Give us the stats, Chad.
So how many homes sold in 2023? In the market. We're talking Bonneville County.
Oh, in 2019.
In 2018, let's hear. Who knows how many homes sold in 2018?
2023.
2023, yeah.
Nice.
That's amazing. So in 2019, how many homes sold?
2195.
2195. So basically, we are seeing an increase, and that's a good thing, right? We need an increase. We need homes to continue to grow.
But Chad, it felt like we couldn't find homes to sell, and it still is more.
So why is that? Why is inventory still low, but we're selling more homes?
It's a fast turnover.
It's a fast turnover. So basically, 2,195 homes sold, 8.5% increase. We have a certain amount of supply, but demand is greater than supply. So we're seeing that. Okay, so basically we have, as far as prices go, average price in 2018, $217,555 was the average sales price for 2018. For 2019, the average sales price was $241,163, which basically was an increase of 10.8%.
I don't know how long it's been, but it seems like we never thought we would ever see these prices in Idaho Falls.
Oh yeah,
area.
Yeah.
No.
In 1 year.
One
year increase that high.
10% increase. It's huge. But that number might not tell the whole story because Joe, what have we noticed in some different stats?
So since June, since May, that market's actually steadied out. Home prices have stopped increasing.
Yeah.
And so whether or not that'll continue, we don't know, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, it is interesting. So in Bonneville County, we saw a huge spike from January to May, and then it's kind of stayed steady. But with anything with a market, we don't know what that means until we have more months of data. And as more months come along, then we'll be able to see if that really means something. It could continue to go up. It could mean that we're flattening out. We don't know. Because we know when the market shifts when we look back. Okay, but that's something that we're aware of, and we're trying to figure out what that means.
Is it 10% in every price bracket?
No. So every single price range is different. This is an average we're taking from all price ranges in Bonneville County.
So what we're saying is some price ranges might be up 20%, and some price ranges might only be up 5%, and it's averaging out at 10.8%. So we can't just assume that your house is going to increase or has increased by 10.8% depending on your price range. And another interesting thing is what's driving the price increase. You know, right now we have a lot of, in California especially, there's a lot of baby boomers who are at the retirement age. And they're looking to get out of California, get out of the traffic. They've lived there their whole lives and they're looking for something different. And for a lot of them, Idaho is that destination of choice for change for retirement. And so that seems to be driving the increase. Is it going to continue? Interesting. We'll have to find out.
Prices are amazing right now for sellers. For buyers, are they as excited? They liked the prices a few years ago.
So Brian, when you're looking at sellers, do they feel like they should be getting that for their houses, every single one, no matter what? Are they expecting a 10% increase?
I mean, they're expecting that it's worth way more than that, actually.
Yeah. So
they keep thinking it goes up and up and up, and it's never going to stop.
How do you counter that?
Well, you have to set realistic expectations. Just kind of show them, hey, these are, this is what's sold, this is what's happened. Here's what's on the market, here's what you're competing against. You have to be realistic. And my job is not necessarily to determine a price, it's to help them look at all the facts and come to a conclusion of what they could sell their house for.
Let's talk average days on market, speaking of. So we've been seeing those continually decline as well. In 2018, average days on market was 42 days is what the average price from when it went on the market until
That's bonkers.
it was able to get a contract accepted. 2019 dropped down from 42 to 34 days on the market. So that's that's 19% decrease. I mean, again, something that we never thought we'd ever see. I mean, it seemed like for most of the beginning of our career, average days on market was always 100 plus days.
A leading indicator of a market shift is days on market, right? And so if we're looking at days on market thinking what's going to happen now, if the current listings are taking longer to sell and days on market increase, then prices may be softening because things aren't selling quite as quickly. And that's not happening, so the inverse is happening according to that stat, right?
Yeah, that's why these numbers, we can't really there's no conclusions that can be made yet, but they're just interesting at this point.
Is that average days on market until it went pending or till it funded?
Pending. It's from when it went active in the MLS until they changed it in the MLS to say it's under contract.
So if you think about in that stat, that's the average.
That's the average.
That's the average. That means long ones that have been sitting all the way. It averages a month.
Totally.
I mean, that is a powerful.
So yeah,
you remember when they
in every price point.
In every
and
price
so
point.
even your upper end 500,000-600,000 is included in that. And so the lower that goes quicker, where there's a bunch more buyers, they're less than a week sometimes if it's priced correctly.
Well, doesn't it seem like most homes do sell within that week?
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that you guys are going after, it's in that first week. So that just shows how many homes, like Brian was saying, want a price, but the market doesn't agree with it. You're one of two homes, the one that sells or the one that helps the other home sell. So basically, there's a lot of homes that are on the market for a long time, which is taking that average up. Because for you guys, in the trenches, it seems like average days on market's probably way less. So, but then it's a lot of averages. That's a good point. So, which brings us to absorption rate. This kind of is the pulse of how our market is overall. Who knows what absorption rate is and can define that?
If we stop taking new listings, how long does it take to sell off the remaining inventory?
Yeah.
That's what absorption rate is.
If every agent quit working and there wasn't a single home that went on the market, in 2018, in 1.5 months, there'd be 0 listings.
Right.
Okay? And that helps us determine a buyer's versus a seller market. So right now we're a seller market.
How many months of inventory defines a balanced market where buyers and sellers are in equilibrium and it is a balanced market? How many months of inventory do you think there should be? 6. Yeah, 4 to 6, right? 4 to 6 months of inventory is balanced. If there's 10, what kind of market is it? Buyers, because there's 10 months of inventory. There's 1 million houses out there and only 10 buyers, so there's a lot to choose from. Prices will do what at that point?
Come down.
Yeah, come down, because now sellers are competing for few buyers. On the inverse, the flip side, there's minimal sellers and lots of buyers, so it pushes prices which way? Up, right?
So in that, if I'm hearing that right, Chad, do you say this basically tells you who is in more in the driver's seat?
Yeah. If you're under 5, the seller's in the driver's seat. If you're 6+, the buyer's in the driver's seat. Because right now the market's so tight, if a buyer makes an offer, the seller can say, well, there's many other offers that might come in and showings that we're going to get, so whatever. But if your inventory's high and you have 6+ months of inventory, if a buyer comes in and makes an offer, you might not get another buyer. Either way, the bottom line, 36% decrease in our overall days on market. That's really big.
Chad, have you ever remember in your years seeing ever this kind of a inventory level?
Okay, so no. And I remember seemed like we were 100 days plus. And I remember talking to people in other parts of the country who'd say they were at 30, and I just couldn't even comprehend it, and certainly never thought we'd see that in this market.
There's an interesting stat this month in December 2019, last month, that shows that there's a weird anomaly that hasn't happened in our market until just last month. The termination rate was 27%. Almost one out of every 3 deals ended up dying in December. Does anybody like that? Terminations, right? Is it a hassle for buyer and seller? Oh, it's the worst.
Well, they always want someone, like they feel like they want someone to be responsible for that. And the realtor and the team is, that kind of gets that on there, and they feel they're like, you're responsible for that.
Exactly. Like somebody has to take ownership. Why did this deal die? Why can't we move forward on this? Well, have you ever heard the saying about, we said it yesterday, an ounce of prevention.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if we are analyzing our contracts properly as buyers specialists and analyzing contracts properly as listing specialists and only putting deals together that make sense up front, what will happen to our termination rate? Will it go up or will it go down?
Yeah.
Down.
Having 2 agents on both sides that are level-headed and doing their jobs can help facilitate and figure out, okay, where's the middle ground and how do we make this deal work for both parties so everybody walks away with a good experience. The other thing that I've learned is, in the contract somewhere it says, I should know this better, but it says time is of the essence, right? And I think a lot of the times as agents we maybe dismiss that, and you can't. Just one example, a house had been on the market for, say, 90 days. We have a buyer that comes in and wants to put that house under contract. The buyer misses some deadlines on some signatures. Typically, you're thinking, okay, this house has sat for a long time. There's no other buyers interested, and so maybe you don't worry about them missing a signature on time in that contract. It's happened where if the buyer doesn't get that document signed in the correct amount of time, that another offer can come in. And it doesn't happen always, but when you are involved in a transaction where that paperwork isn't facilitated correctly and in the time allotted on the contract, you may end up missing a deal for your buyers and for yourself just because of not meeting time frames. So that's another really important thing to pay attention to. When are these things supposed to be signed? When does the agreement say? And don't miss those dates, because if you do, you might be that one unlucky circumstance where another buyer sweeps in and picks up the house that you guys wanted.
Are buyers jumping into contracts too soon sometimes, and then kind of getting buyer's remorse once they're in a day or two?
I think since houses are selling so fast in certain price ranges, buyers feel this extra pressure to try and get the house because they've already missed out on 2 or 3 other houses. And so now they're just feeling this desperation that they want this house. This is going to be it. And then it gets under contract, and they didn't think everything through. They walk through it for 15 minutes. They are all excited. And then it hits them that they're under contract with this house, and it's going to be theirs in 30 days.
Right.
And then they start to think, whoa, do I have buyer's remorse here? Do I really love this house? And then they reach out to their agent, and Next thing you know, a deal is getting terminated.
And then sometimes a house comes on the market a week into their deal. And they're like, that wasn't even available before, and now I want it. That also pressures the terminations because they're like, I'm going to blow this up in inspection because I now want that house and I got to do it fast.
One of the biggest reasons we see terminations on the other side is because the sellers have listed their house, got a buyer in so quickly because they've listed it correctly, and they have nowhere to go. And that's one of the big reasons we see terminations.
Replace it, yeah. Who's got a major win for 2019 that they want to share?
Recently, since inventory has been really low, we had a buyer that wanted a really specific type of property, and there really wasn't anything. And so my partner, Austin Jacobs, and I, we kind of had to dig in. We had to go find those types of properties, figure out who the owners are, call them, and call a lot of them, and eventually someone's going to want to sell. So we were able to do that for this particular client, and we found the right property, and she's happy, he's happy because it's what he wanted, and she wasn't planning on selling, but it's been a good blessing for her. So overall, I think
So you found a property that wasn't listed.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
off market.
So it's
and you
been
had to
kind
go,
of
That's interesting.
It's been kind of fun to get a little creative
Yeah.
with the market right now since inventory is low. And anyway, I just thought that was a really neat deal that got put together that wouldn't have naturally been put together. So
Man, that's creative. Good job. That's awesome.
No, I've got this really good friend. We were talking about listing his house, and his dad recommended that he use someone else, and mainly because it's a family friend, and well, the other guy was going to give him a big discount, right? So we thought, well, I'll go that route first. And he was listed for 45 days, and it just wasn't moving, and he expected this home to sell quick because it was the type of home that should sell quick. And he would get on Zillow every day, and he would call agents and see, where that was going. And first phone call he made, he talked to someone on our team, right? Second phone call he made a few days later was to someone on our team.
So he's calling the number on Zillow.
And it kept directing it back to us. So
Awesome,
he called again, talked to someone on our team again, and just
Okay.
said, Brian, I made a mistake. I'm canceling that. We're going with you. We had it listed, sold 7 days later, and he couldn't be happier.
Woo! That's great. That's great.
So I have an awesome win. So we always tell people that it's never too early to talk to us, right? And in 2017, I sat down with these really cute young couple, they're first-time home buyers, and they realized at that time that they weren't able to purchase, but we got them set up with the tools and the right people and who to talk to figure out what they needed to do to purchase. And they worked very, very hard, and we kept in touch with them and made sure they had everything they need and working towards being able to purchase. And they closed on a house right before the holidays, which was so awesome. That's 3 years later, right? And it was just great to see them work so hard. And it's just never too early to talk to us because we can get you into the position to get you the information. With good information, you can make good decisions, right? And knowledge is power, and we want to be able to help you. So it's never too early to talk to us. And one really cool thing about that was we're so thankful that our clients choose us and trust us to help them reach their real estate goals and help us in our business. And we love to help our clients in their businesses. And he is a car salesman, and I knew that I would be looking for a car pretty soon, so I gave him a call. And pretty much on the same day that he was closing, I was also closing on a new car with him. And so it was really cool to be able to help each other in each other's businesses and help each other reach a milestone and a goal. And it was just really awesome. It was really awesome. So yeah.
So we're working on a deal right now where the property lines were a little skewed. It was really hard to identify where the property marker was, and we were able to reach out to one of our local title companies and ask them for help to say, here's this property, we need you to identify who owns it, what it's all about, so we can get it sold. And I honestly, when I sent it over, didn't think anything of it, that we probably would hear back in a week or so. Within a day, we had the title company coming back to us with the information we needed to get this property under contract. And it's great that we work on a team that do so many deals that title companies and all these other affiliates out there will reach out and help us. And that title company was AmeriTitle, and they were fantastic to work with.
Any names you want to recognize that made it happen?
You know what? It was the whole team of AmeriTitle that made it happen, not just
awesome.
one person.
Nice.
That's good.
So this was several months ago. We had a contract that had gone pending. Our seller was out of state, and we were having communication issues, problems. I don't actually remember, but for whatever reason, we could not get the buyer to come in and sign so that we could get this closed. And Amber Knighting took all the paperwork out to Manan, which is like 30 miles away, to get him to sign and get the deal closed on his lunch break. Took everything out to him, got it signed, got it back, got everything sent back to California for our client, so that we could close when we were supposed to.
That's above and beyond. Good job, Amber. Yeah. Good job, Taylor. We merged last year with the options team, and they've brought on a lot of new things that we're totally ready and excited to be able to do. Jess?
Yeah.
Nosy Neighbors is one of those.
I think all of us would use local businesses if we knew what they offered. And sometimes local businesses don't have the budget to give you a commercial to show you what they offer, so we don't even know. So I really loved learning about businesses from the Nosy Neighbors, and I'm super excited for all the ones you guys have suggested. I think all the businesses you've suggested, we have on the market or on the calendar to go and visit. I don't think there's anybody that didn't make a decision that we don't have one on there. So this is who we have coming up. This next week we've got, if you guys don't know what Yellowstone Teton Territory is, anybody? You don't? So what's really cool, it's a local group that promotes tourism in our area. And they have the lists of all of the local events and activities and who they can go to. It's amazing. So it's a really cool, I think people outside of our area know more about them than we do. But we've got anything from the Healing Sanctuary. Has anybody been to the Healing Sanctuary? Is it beautiful? I mean, it is a really neat thing that was done. So we're gonna go visit the Healing Sanctuary and see inside that. We've got the Cookie Place and Ripped Nutrition. Together. I'm just kidding, not together. I'm like, is this on? Because that was funny. Cookie Place and Rip Nutrition all together. Anyway, so we've got a whole bunch. We're super excited. And as we talk about this, I'm super excited for you guys to keep letting us know, a lot like Ashley. If you have a client, we want to make sure we highlight their businesses. We're in partnership forever. So let's give them the help that we need, and let's make sure we can and send people to their way. If you guys are watching Nosy Neighbors, make sure you're telling your clients, think of those businesses. And if someone says, hey, where am I going to get cookies? Say, well, we have a local place, the Cookie Place, that does those awesome cookies, and they would know that. Or the Healing Sanctuary, there's great doctors. So.
And I just did that same thing because our clients of many, many years own Snakebite, which is a pillar of local small business in Idaho Falls, and they're totally open to doing that. So we can add that to the list now too, because they're
we
open
really want to be
do a lot.
A partner with them, and we want them to think of us as much as we think of them. And this is the way we're going to do it. Is we want to give to them.
Who loves getting videotaped and being on camera?
Long term.
Nobody loves it.
So you guys, I want you to think about when we think about doing this, the people in local businesses have the same fears, so they don't do their social media either. They don't do camera. They don't do that. So we're trying to give to them. It doesn't cost them anything. We don't ask anything from them. We just help them. I mean, that's what we're going to be about. And we want local people knowing about us because we helped them.
So our job is to share it.
Yeah.
You have to have a social media account, right?
Yep.
Which one's better? Facebook, Instagram, what do we do?
We're on all of them.
So do we need a personal page? Do you have instructions? We'll do that soon, right? We'll have instructions and we'll make sure that it's
whatever platform
effective.
you're on, if you're an Instagrammer, use Instagram. If you're a Facebooker, if you're a LinkedIner, whatever it is. Isn't it better lead gen than calling and saying, do you know somebody? Isn't it better saying, can we come and highlight your business and help find customers for you?
All day.
It's so awesome. So anyway, okay, a little bit of customer appreciation. So this past year, we had a couple of customer appreciation events. Who wants to tell us about, we did two?
One of our principles, our core values in our team is being a better friend after the transaction than we were before. And one of the ways that we do that is we have client appreciation events. And so this last year we had two big events.
So last year it was June? No, it was June. We did the client appreciation event where we basically rented out the zoo and invited every single person that we knew. It ended up being public on Facebook, so there was a line from the zoo all the way to the skate park at Toffus Park, and it was insane. It was fun. We got almost all the leads we could possibly think of, and people enjoyed it. They got to come and have hot dogs and snow cones and just see all the animals, and all of the people had nothing but good things to say about it. So.
And it was fun to see our clients again,
yeah,
right?
and we got to just see them and let them know how much we do appreciate them giving us the opportunity to support ourselves and our families.
So in December, we rented out a couple of different theaters and invited our clients and friends to come and see the new Star Wars show. So that turned out really well. It was a great opportunity for us to reach out and thank people for working with us throughout the last year, and then to invite them as a thank you to come and watch the show. And it was fun to see them and talk with them and be able to mingle. And we've got some really fun ideas coming up for this year as well.
How many people do we end up with at the movie?
Jeez, we bought out the 2 biggest theaters there, so it was hundreds and hundreds of people.
Over 500.
600.
Yeah, over 600.
So, what's 2020 going to look like?
Amazing.
It's going to be great.
Queuing up Casey again. What's it going to be like? What's it going to be like?
Amazing.
And maybe even great. Amazing and great for 2020.
And if you're enjoying these smart messages and you have friends or family that you could introduce us to that would enjoy these, that we could help, we would appreciate that. Instead of trying to rely on contacting a human, you can know about the entire transaction from start to finish on day one.
It's 24/7 information.
Everyone's unique, but they have the same concerns because this is the process. So these smart messages, I think, are going to answer people's questions.
So these smart messages are going to be amazing.